going to show you how to make this puff stitch hat for sizes 12 months to 3-year-old and then a 3 to 10-year-old. I did test it on both my children. I have a 20-month-old and a 6.5-year-old, and they both fit. I'm using worsted yarn, or any yarn really works on this project. And I'm using an H hook, and we're going to start off with a slip knot onto your hook and leave a 6-inch tail. And then we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to show you how to do both sizes. Both sizes are the same in the beginning, and then the next size you just have to add one more increased round. Slip stitch to join at the beginning chain. Okay, now you have your ring. And you're going to do the puff stitch, which is, you're going to do a puff stitch 7 times, which is a yarn over, draw up a loop. So you're going to draw up this loop, have them loosely onto your hook, yarn over twice. You'll yarn over 3 times. This is the second one. Place your hook in the ring, grab the yarn, pull up, yarn over 3 times, place your hook in the ring, grab the yarn, and you'll have 7 loops on your hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. For a puff stitch, it will be yarn over 3 times and then draw up the loops, and you'll have 7 on your hook. Now you're going to yarn over and then pull through all 7 loops, and that's your first puff stitch. And then you're going to chain 1 and then do another puff stitch. You're doing 7 puff stitches. That was your first one. This is your second one. Yarn over, place your hook in the ring, draw up the loop, yarn over, place your hook in the ring, draw up a loop, keep it on your hook, yarn over, place your hook in the ring, pull up your loop, and we have 7 again on your hook. Make sure it's always 7 and 3 times into the ring. Yarn over and pull through all 7 loops, and make sure your loops kind of are at the same level and they're kind of loose. You don't want them too tight, so you can pull through. I think I need to do this one again. So yarn over, draw up your loop, yarn over, draw up your loop, yarn over, draw up your loop. I did that one a little fast just because it was a do-over. Yarn over, pull through all 7, and then you'll chain 1 and repeat for a 3rd puff stitch. Yarn over, draw up your loop, yarn over, place your hook in the ring, draw up your loop, yarn over, place your hook in the ring, draw up your loop, make sure you have 7 loops on your hook, yarn over, draw through all 7 loops, and then chain 1, yarn over, draw up your loop, yarn over, draw up your loop, yarn over, go through the ring, draw up your loop. You have 7 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through all 7, chain 1, and now you have 1, 2, 3, 4. We need 3 more. Yarn over, draw up your loop, yarn over, draw up your loop, yarn over, draw up your loop 3 times, and you should have 7 loops on your hook, yarn over, draw through all 7, chain 1, and now we have 5. Now we need 2 more, yarn over, draw up your loop, yarn over, draw up your loop, yarn over 3 times, draw up your loop, have 7 loops, yarn over, draw through all 7, chain 1, yarn over, draw up your loops, yarn over, draw up your loops, okay, we have to do this one again. So we're on 1, so we need to drop 2 and then drop 3 times. So that's 3, and you have 7 loops, yarn over, draw through all 7, chain 1. Okay, now you have your first puff stitch, and you have this first stitch here. You're going to slip stitch into that first stitch to join. And now you have 7 puff stitches, and on round 2 you're going to chain 2, and you're going to puff stitch twice in the chain 1 space. So you have a chain 1 here. So we have 1, 2, 3. Alright, so we're going to work 2 puff stitches in this space right here. So yarn over, work a puff stitch by drawing up your loop 3 times, yarn over, draw up your loops, 1, that was 2, yarn over, draw up your loop, and that's 3 times, and you have 7 loops on your hook, yarn over, draw through all 7, and then you're going to chain 1 and work another puff stitch in that chain 1. So in that same space, another puff stitch, draw up your loops once, and then twice, and then 3 times for your puff stitch, yarn over and draw through all 7 loops, chain 1, you have 2 in that chain 1 space. Now in this next chain 1 space, you'll see there's a chain 1 right there. You're going to work 2 puff stitches again. So yarn over, draw up 3 times, so 1, 2, 3, yarn over, draw through all 7 loops, chain 1, work another puff stitch, 1, 2, 3, yarn over, draw through all 7 loops, chain 1. Now in this next chain 1 space, you're going to work 2 again. So go into that chain 1, yarn over, 1, 2, 3, yarn over, draw through all 7 loops, chain 1, work 1, 2, 3, draw through all 7 loops, chain 1. Now in this next chain 1 you'll work 2 again, so yarn over, drop 1, 2, 3, yarn over, draw through all 7 loops, chain 1, drop 1, 2, 3, 7 loops on your hook, draw through all 7 loops, chain 1. Now on your next chain 1, work 2 puff stitches again, 1, 2, 3, chain 1 and work through all 7, pull through and work through all 7. Now chain 1, work another puff stitch here, drop 1, 2, 3, chain 1 and work through all 7. Sorry, pull through and work through all 7. Now chain 1. I don't know why I'm saying chain 1. In this chain 1, work 2 more puff stitches, pull up 1, 2, 3, yarn over and pull through all 7 instead of chain 1. I'm sorry I said that. Now chain 1, yarn over and draw up 1, 2, 3, yarn over, pull through all 7 loops, chain 1, see where we're at here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is our last one in this chain 1, yarn over, pull in this chain 1, pull up 1, 2, 3, yarn over, pull through all 7 loops, chain 1, 1 more puff stitch, 1, pull up 1, 2, 3, yarn over, draw through all 7, chain 1, and now you should have 14. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Now slip stitch in that chain 2, so we have 1 and then 2, slip stitch. Okay, now we're on round 3, chain 2, 1, 2. Okay, so in this one you're going to work 2 puff stitches. So 1, pull up, 2, pull up, 3, pull up, yarn over, pull through all 7, chain 1, and do another puff stitch here. So 1, draw up, 2, draw up, 3, pull up here, yarn over, draw through all 7, and then chain 1. Now in this next one you're just going to work 1 puff stitch. So yarn up, 2, pull up, 3, yarn over through all 7 loops, chain 1, and then in this next one you'll work 2 puff stitches in this chain 1. Yarn up, 2, 3, yarn over, draw through all 7 loops, and then chain 1. So you have 2, 1, and then 2 here. So yarn over and create another puff stitch in that same stitch. So 1, 2, 3, yarn over, draw through all 7 loops, chain 1, and this one chain 1, work 1 puff stitch, yarn up, 1, 2, 3, yarn over, draw through all 7, chain 1. In this next chain 1 you'll work 2, so it's just the pattern is 2, 1, 2, 1, so 2 puff stitches here, drop 1, 2, 3, yarn over, pull through all 7 loops, chain 1, and then work another puff stitch in that same one, pull up 1, 2, 3, yarn over, chain 1. Now in the next one you're going to work a puff stitch here and this chain 1, so 1, 2, 3, yarn over, pull through all 7, or yeah, 7, chain 1. Now in this next one, in this next chain 1, work 2 puff stitches, 1, 2, 3, yarn over, draw through all 7, chain 1, work another puff stitch in that same stitch, 1, 2, 3, yarn over, draw through all 7, chain 1, in this next puff stitch, work chain 1, work 1 puff stitch, yarn up, 1, pull up 2, and then 3, yarn over, draw through all 7, chain 1. This next chain 1, work 2 puff stitches, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, or pull through, and then chain 1, and then in this same one, work another puff stitch, pull up 1, 2, 3, yarn over, pull through all 7, and then chain 1. If you hear that I'm saying chain 1 when I meant to say pull through, I don't know why I keep saying that. Alright, so now in this next one, work another puff stitch, so pull up 1, 2, 3, pull through all 7, chain 1. This next one, work 2 puff stitches, pull up 1, 2, 3, pull through all 7, chain 1, yarn over, draw up 1, 2, 3, pull through all 7, chain 1, and then this next one's a chain, is a 1 puff stitch in this chain 1, 1, pull up 2, pull up 3, pull through all 7, chain 1. This next chain 1 is a puff stitch, 2 puff stitches, pull up 1, 2, 3, pull through all 7, chain 1, 2 puff stitches, 1, pull up 2, pull up 3, pull through all 7, and chain 1, and then we have a 1 puff stitch here, 1, 2, okay, it's getting stuck in here, so you have to find the chain 1 in between. I don't know why it's stuck. Yeah, the yarn was coming together on that one. Alright, so I'll try my best on this one. So pull through 1, 2, unless that's it right there, yeah. Okay, I went through the puff stitch. So I need to go over it, around it, I mean. Alright, so 1, pull up 2, pull up 3, pull through all 7, and then chain 1, and let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, you should have 21. So slip stitch in the chain 2. And you're going to slip stitch to join. Now you're in round 4, chain 2. Now in round 4, in each chain 1 space, you're just going to work a 1 puff stitch. So pull up 1 here and just work 1 here, 2, pull up, 3, and then pull through all 7, and then chain 1, and then in this chain 1, every chain 1 gets a puff stitch. So this chain 1, work a puff stitch 1, pull up 2, pull up 3, and then yarn over and pull through all 7, chain 1. This chain 1, puff stitch. So we'll yarn up 2, yarn up 3, yarn over and pull through all 7, and chain 1. Next puff stitch gets a puff stitch. The chain 1 here gets a puff stitch. Pull up 2, and then pull up 3, yarn over, pull through all 7, and just continue that around, a puff stitch for each chain 1. So just make sure you pull up 3 times, yarn, pull through all 7 loops, chain 1, go to the next chain 1 and work a puff stitch. I'm going to work this just a little bit faster since it's just the same pattern. If you need to stop and pause it in between, that's fine. And then this chain 1, work a puff stitch. And then chain 1. This chain 1 gets a puff stitch. Chain 1 gets a puff stitch. Chain 1, and then this chain 1 gets a puff stitch. Pull through, and then chain 1. This chain 1 gets a puff stitch. Chain 1, puff stitch in the chain 1. Chain 1, puff stitch. Puff stitch. So just every chain 1 and then chain 1, and then all chain 1s get a puff stitch.